let's get to TC, who is in the car and has an issue with Wiggy and something that he said.
I just find it hilarious that when I call how it is and say Lamar Jackson's never won anything, Shyman Wiggy is so fast to say, "Well, he won MVP." But then,
good point.
But then when Courtney says that Jokic is a pit bull, what kind of dog is Tatum? What's he won? So you can't have it both ways. And listen, Wiggy, I'm sure I'm guilty.
Listen, I love the
we're all
Joker.
guilty of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're all guilty of, when we're leaning one side, one way, we probably all do it. So, I'm not perfect either. But I just wanted to remind you that. But here's the deal with that Tatum, right? And the Tatum and Kobe thing. If anyone's like Kobe, it's obviously Jimmy Butler. And just look at this. Now, Tatum, after Game 6, give the guy credit. He was not having a game, but he knew what he had to do, and he got it done, and they stayed alive. And then the next game, but I just want to focus on Game 6, post-game. Well, I'm one of the greatest basketball players in the world. Did you hear Jimmy Butler the other night after the game? Nothing about him. All about his team and how so when I told you if they get through the 76ers, Jimmy Butler will come in here and run them over anyway. Jayson Tatum's got a long way to go, man. He's nowhere close to Kobe. Nowhere close to Kobe.
TC, thank you.
Great
A-plus call from TC.
Yeah. Lead call, muffin.
Ty, does it bother you when Jayson Tatum or when guys say, I'm the best player in the world? Humbly, I'm the best player in the world?
I mean, it's not all that humble, but if you believe, but I'm a firm believer. If you believe in yourself and you really believe that, hey, go out there, you say it. You know what I mean? But you have to back it up. Right. You know what I mean? You can't just say it and not back it up. And that's the problem that I have when people, pound their chest and they can't back it up. I would rather not pound my chest and just go out there and do the job, let everybody else say what they got to say for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I still think that Jayson Tatum, he has it. We're giving him a hard time. This is Boston. This is New England. There are expectations because we've been spoiled from sports for so long. And when you have a superstar like Jayson Tatum, who is the leader and the face of your team, you expect a lot more. Because I think of what we've all experienced here from the Larry Birds, the Tom Bradys, the Big Poppies, and whatever sport team that you can think of, Jayson Tatum, it's your turn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you didn't have chest-pounding guys on the New England Patriots. There were guys who might have wanted to, but they didn't do that because of the head coach, correct?
Well, I wouldn't say it's all because of the head coach, and I know Wiggy probably going to say something, don't talk to me about it, don't say that, but I mean, I know something is coming with Wiggy.
I'm tired of MF. I almost said my
Yes, he used to say that. You did have a little bit of an incident, you and Bill, but in the end, right. You say on this show all the time how great he was.
No, he's great, and I think everyone talks about the culture in the Patriot way. That was created in the locker room. It wasn't, a Belichick thing. He said, this is the way we're going to do things. It was created within the locker room for some of the veterans. So that's how it was. I think Coach Belichick gets the credit because he's, Bill Belichick as far as like he's no nonsense. He's not going to talk to the media and give you what you want. But that whole Patriot way thing was the locker room, and that's what we decided to do.
And everybody in the locker room, without Bill telling us, knew what their roles were and knew how to carry and move within the locker room.
I have a question for you, Ty and Wiggy, on that. Whose decision was it to be the first team in Super Bowl 36 to come out as a team instead of being individually announced?
I know who it is, and I don't know if you remember it this way, but this I thought it was Lawyer when they said defense is going out, and Lawyer said, "Nah, F that. We going out as a team."
No, it started off in Cincinnati when they started calling us out. We're supposed to line up, and all of a sudden, they looked at it as, hey, we're just starting to call the names out. Didn't give us a chance to run out. So that's when the whole team thing started because of the lack of respect we had. We went to Cincinnati. We rolled that thing all the way to the Super Bowl. So at the time, everything is timed up for your commercial spots. Stacey James, he came in and said, because I think the offense, the defense was going.
Yeah, it was going.
The defense was going, and Stacey was like, we're doing it. Then we was like, hell no. Lawyer's like, no, we've been doing this shit, and everybody just got behind it. It was like, no, we're going out as a team. And so Stacey was like, well, it's going to be a fine, and they have to do this. Everything is about money. Well, we said, I guess Mr. Kraft will have to get a hell of a fine. It ain't coming out our pocket. You know what I mean? He can afford it. So we said we coming out as a team, and that's exactly what we did. They couldn't stop us no matter what. But they tried to stop us from coming out as a team. And now you see everyone. Every time you look at the Super Bowl, there's a piece of the Patriots there because everyone comes out as a team now.
Speaking of Robert Kraft, we haven't spoken to you since he announced that Tom Brady would be at Gillette for Game 1.
Right.
I think Curtis can speak for himself, but a little bit of an issue with the timing there, Curtis, in your mind, trying to sell tickets.
Well, on the day of the schedule release, Bill Belichick, who, Ty, you would know better than anybody, he referred to opening day following a Super Bowl title as the circus coming to town. You had the concert, you had the banner, and he wanted everybody to know that they were back on the bottom of the mountain and they had to go back to the summit again. That last year was going to have no impact on the next season. And to do the Brady, whatever they're going to do, on the opening night of the season and to announce it on the day of the schedule release, for me, was an attempt to distract from what the team will be this year actually on the field and to remember who they were. And there's a nugget today, just to add on top of that. Patriots today.
He's deranged.
The Patriots today released Yadni Kajust. They now have nobody from the 2019 draft on their roster. The entire draft is gone from 4 years ago. That's why they are where they are. But, yes, that's why they're telling us about Tom Brady Day and not about Mac Jones playing the Eagles.
It's the most expensive ticket, too, in the league.
I heard that.
Yeah,
you know
so
what I mean?
he has a point.
You know what? I'm glad I know a few people in there because I damn sure wouldn't pay that kind of money to go see Tom Brady and nobody else. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. But Tom Brady, whenever he gets welcomed back, regardless if it's the first game, he deserves his just due. At the end of the day, people talk about, Tampa, the alleged argument, disagreements with him and Bill Belichick. Tom Brady is supposed to come back to New England and have a statue waiting for him, right there in the beginning, like all the great ones, like whether it's the great Lakers, Michael Jordan. That is who Tom Brady is. And so whatever type of celebration that he's having is rightfully deserved. I don't think it has anything to do with where the Patriots are at. Tom Brady should be welcome, back to New England whenever his schedule allows, because that's what he's done for this organization.
So the timing isn't weird to you?
No, timing isn't
how
weird.
About, right?
No.
Right?
No, not at all.
Have you been invited?
Huh?
Have you been invited to anything?
No, I just walk up in there.
Oh, okay.
I don't need no invitation.
He just throws on the
same
bucket
breath that he's like, I was humble.
Throws on the bucket hat and walks right up in there.
I love Greg.
Right, but they do got a new regime, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
Greg does that, too. You
go in there with Greg, you'll be all right. You know what I mean?
Go in there with
Believe me,
Ty,
your seats are safe, Greg, after demanding the audience agree that there is no
They
correlation.
started clapping before.
Yeah.
Curtis gets bothered if somebody doesn't agree with him, like Ty Law. It's an issue.
Well, it's not a point of agreement. There's no way to prove it either way.
I know.
I mean, it's a very odd thing for the organization to do. And then on the first day of free agency, they announced they're honoring Devin McCourty. Like, who cares? Sign someone.
You say they're honoring Devin McCourty at the same time as Tom Brady?
No. On the first day of the NFL free agency, whenever all the reports were, Orlando Brown Jr. is going to this team and this guy's signing here, the Patriots, get Riley Reif and tell everybody that Devin McCourty is going to be honored in a week.
So basically, what he's saying, rather than our focus be on how the team ain't good, let's look at all these retired players to take our attention away from how the team ain't good.
Look, the team can be great, and when Tom Brady come to town, it's still about Tom Brady. It no matter where the team lays at. Now, my thing is, you know how in college you pick the homecoming team with the team you're probably going to beat? Mm-hmm. When you have the homecoming and the parade. Damn, we're going to do that against Philly with Tom?
Yeah, I don't get that.
Tom won't even come for Philly?
I don't know about that.
Let's just wait to see where we at a little bit. Let's hey, it's the first game. Yeah, hey, man.
Down by 21.
I'm sure it's totally coincidental.
That the fans will not even care what's going on the field.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
when's Tom coming out? Let's see him again.
I'm sure Mac Jones won't hear the Brady
But
chant.
I think even as from the organization, from fans, we want to win. And not saying that we won't, because I'm going for Patriots all day. I'm talking from the heart. But I would have waited until I looked at that schedule and say, okay,
Yeah. You got to wait till the Saints or the Colts.
The Saints come marching in, and we just send them back out. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You don't want to be going against Philly.
Yeah.
This is Ryan from Manchester. We are at the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Roadshow number 2, presented by Miller Lite. It's Miller time, New England. Ryan, what's up?
I keep circling back to the Celtics as an organization of how they didn't have a plan B other than a 36-year-old head coach with no head coaching experience would come in and take over a finals team that's favored to win the finals. And then you got guys that the fan base needs to stop being so hot and cold. You can't have a 25-year-old kid on your team set an NBA Game 7 points record, and then the next game you call in and complain that he doesn't have the dog in him. The problem is you look at all these great dynasties, great players. You brought up Kobe, Michael Jordan, Shaq, all those guys. What do they have in common? They had an all-time great head coach. They didn't have a journeyman step in and take over with no plan. And Brad Stevens, for whatever he is, this is Danny Ainge's team. Brad Stevens had the same issues with not calling timeouts, struggling in in-game adjustments. And my biggest fear might be coming true here that when coaching really does matter, you got embarrassed on your home court. And I hope it doesn't play out like this. But shame on the Celtics for not having a plan B.
But how would you? Why would you think you have to have a plan B on Ime Udoka? Who would imagine that that's what's going to happen?
True.
Hey, they knew before the season this was going to happen. How did you not have a plan B?
Also, can we not use that term when talking about Ime?
Wow.
That's a good one.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That was probably your best joke yet.
Yeah.
Thank you, Courtney.
Yeah.
A+.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they probably, if you looked at their coaching staff, we talk about this a lot. There are other guys that would be a better plan B than Ime. So it's shocking that they went with him.
Well, they couldn't get any. I mean,
I'm saying guys that were already on staff.
Yeah.
We always go back to Damon, who's now at Georgia Tech.
Right, but remember, Damon Stoudemire was an Ime guy. Wow, Joe Mazzulla is a Brad Stevens
Ime worked well for this team, so let's get an Ime guy to step in.
But I think Brad, when it came down to it, and I understand that Wick was like last minute, and Brad was last minute, and he probably said, okay, I know Joe Mazzulla better than everybody else. Let's go with him.
I mean, there are an awful lot of people, and I think it's because they're Jayson Tatum fans, and they want him to be they want him to be Kobe. Mm-hmm. So they refuse to put any of it on him and put it all on Joe Mazzulla.
But the caller does make a good point. Kobe had Phil Jackson. He had Phil Jackson, and then when he came up, he had the most dominating player in NBA history in Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay, but what did Phil Jackson win without Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Shaq?
What did Jordan win without Phil Jackson?
Okay.
I
think Michael Jordan would have been just fine with anybody other than Phil Jackson.
So why was say that after the fact now, but we don't know. You can't take away from Phil Jackson. You can't take away Phil. That's like saying Tom Brady. It's like, okay, what he would have been without Belichick. Would Belichick have been out Tom Brady? But I think that Tom Brady would have been okay, but who's to say that he would have won all those Super Bowls just because he got one without Coach Belichick, but he would have had the other 6.
And remember, Jordan came in the league in what, 84? I think he came in the league in 84. He didn't win his first title until,
I don't think it was 84.
No, I think it was maybe 84, 85, right? Yeah. But he didn't win his first title until 91. So he was in the league without Phil Jackson for all those years and couldn't get over that hump.
Holy cow, you're right, 84, 85.
Yeah, so he couldn't get over that hump. I mean, we remember Jordan coming here when he had that 63 game in the playoffs against the Celtics, but you couldn't get over that hump.
Lost.
Yeah. Right? And then once he got Phil Jackson was able to unlock whatever it is. That's why I say, and this is what I say all the time, Ty, when we talk about great players and how they're great leaders, they usually come from great coaches. Coaches that are great, that instill this into them and wire their DNA. And they might have it floating in their DNA, but the great coach unlocks it. I think Tatum has it, and Ime was unlocking it, but unfortunately, Ime did something stupid, and they moved on for him.
Right.
Now you got to find the guy that can unlock it, whether it was Kobe who did it, Phil who did it for Kobe, Phil who did it for Jordan, Pop who did it for Tim Duncan, that's going to be enshrined here. Look at all of those great players. Phil Jackson did it for Shaquille O'Neal. The list goes on and on and on. And that's what you see, that great coach unlocking that DNA and making that play.
Or Jayson Tatum in this series and going on, hopefully, can unlock it himself.
But it's hard
and he's
to
going
do it
to have to if he wants to be that guy. He's going to.
Let's Ty talk about, and this is where I think Ty can see and understand. As a great player, when you came into the league, your position coach was Belichick, right? Was he coaching you?
It was Belichick.
And Bill, and them unlocking what you had, as a player. And that's why it's hard to do a player to unlock himself.
I know, Ty. He's not giving credit to anybody
No,
else.
I would say, it depends on the coach, because a lot of times, with coaches, with Belichick, with myself, he would tell Asante Samuel, hey, you don't do that. Because he said, I can't coach what the hell he's doing because of the technique that I was using was a little bit unorthodox for what he was. But that's what I was comfortable with. So Coach Belichick is the type of guy that if it's working, stay with it. But if it ain't working, we're going to do it my way. And so my way was working, so he just worked with me. But it does take a certain coach at times to unlock it. But, again, that caller made a great point. Jayson Tatum is 25 years old. He hasn't been in the league that long, to where people expect him to be Kobe or Michael. People don't talk about the games where Michael Jordan was 0 for forever because he did so many great things. People don't talk about when Kobe couldn't make a shot. He was just cold that day, but he did something to make you forget about it. He did something so great. And here in Boston, we give you a hard time. He did something so great by getting 50. That's great, but we're still sitting there talking about the things that he didn't do.
No,
I think we just give him a little bit of break.
We want it again tonight. We expect it again tonight.
Yes, we're going to be there. Expectations are going to be there. But Jayson Tatum, I think we got to give him a little bit of a break, and I don't think it's about the coaches all the time either, but I can see the correlation when you're talking about great coaches and great players. But, at the end of the day, those coaches can't make no baskets.
Right. All right, that's Ty Law, everybody. We are here at the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield. Road show number 2.